Morning everybody, happy Tuesday to you. It is time once again to get on to our next project here on the Rancho, which happens to be a downspout that caused a little bit of trouble with the siding on the house. We look over here, you can see exactly what I mean. This downspout obviously got clogged up last year, and it resulted in water coming down and getting inside of the siding here. We need to remediate that and seal that up. I've had this open for a few days so that it can dry. There's no sense working on this when there's any moisture in the redwood siding here. So I'm going to go ahead. First thing we're going to do is remove this very convoluted downspout, which is probably the last original one here, and see if we can get that unblocked, and maybe a couple days or so at the hardware store get some screening so we can block that so the leaves don't get caught up in there. So let's go ahead. We've got some looks like small type of roofing nails here that are holding it in. Let's get this out of here. One bracket down. We just twist that back from that position. We have to get a little better pry underneath of this. See if that's enough. We can work that out. We're gonna have to get another tool here. But you guys got the idea. We got to get this thing off of here. So, whatever it takes. These little pry tools from Dasco are really great for getting underneath and pulling that out. So we'll be able to just pull that back and then remove the downspout. You can see there's a lot of crud in here. I'm sure this thing has a lot of goo in there. Down over there. Right. And now, well, you can see that, but that is just full of gunk in there. Just totally blocking the water and getting it to squeeze out the sides. Same thing with this down piece. Like impossible to show you guys, but that is also full of gunk too. I used a fishing rod to clear that out of there. Now that is looking good. It's time to clean up some of this paint now. Important not to score the wood here. So I'm using a very flat blade scraper here to go along and get that all cleaned off. This extends all the way over to here, so I need to get this peeled back to a good area. Alright, that looks pretty good. If everything else is already can just be cleaned up here. Now we're going to get the sander out and get that sort of feathered in here. I got the mask on, got the 100 grit. We don't want to make a depression in the wood. We just want to kind of smooth it out. We're back to the good wood now. Let me get plugged in here and we'll get going. Mask up. That's looking pretty good, feathered in pretty good. I'm gonna get some fine grit sandpaper now and go over it, then get some paint. You always want to run your hand over it. It feels pretty doggone good. That's about as good as we're going to get it. I don't want to make a depression in the wood. So we'll get this all cleaned up. First I'm going to go get some paint. And I've kept a sample of what I took off for a more accurate color match because because of sun and weathering the paint and everything. So alright, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back from the paint store. I got the nice marquee. I always believe in using the good paint, Bear. And I got that color match computerization. I took in that chip. And they matched that up pretty good to a good flat. So time to start applying the paint. One nice thing, they have these new caps they built into the top for paintbrushes. Isn't that nice? I appreciate that. It's really a nice innovation. I like that a lot. That looks like it's going to work out pretty good on there. Two coat that. Drive that paint up really well into there. Seal that up good. It's looking pretty good. Nice long strokes. Just trying to feather that paint into the other paint. Sure to drive that up into the siding joint really well. As may not know, all three of these buildings I brushed by hand with the paintbrush, 2 coats. Took a solid month to do it, but I really like the color of the green Matches the outside, and it's a very soothing, very complimentary color. So, all right, pretty good. I'll work some of these other areas too. We should be good to go for this first coat. How's that look, guys? Pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. We're gonna let that dry good and reinstall the downspout. Probably paint that up a little bit and then call it a day. I got a little bit of paint on the green, but I have some of the green left just to touch that up. But I think that turned out really well. I don't think we have to worry about the bubbling paint anymore, and I'll be able to get some screening to screen that up there to try to keep the leaves out. All right. Nice and feathered in. Yeah, looks pretty good. Paint is on. Downspout is up. I'm going to address that, put some kind of little grill piece up there. But doesn't that look a whole lot better now? That on there. I've got a really good paint match. I'm happy about that. Let's see if I can break out the green paint and do a little touch up down below. That's going to be a wrap today, and yeah, I can make it like new given enough time and the right materials. Got that all little boo-boos cleaned up down there with the coconut palm color. And I think compared to the way we started a few days ago, I think it's looking great. Still a little more to do with the screen, but I'm really happy. If you guys have enjoyed this repair, please consider giving a thumbs up down below there. They are much appreciated, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much, everybody.